Welcome to the Liquor Show.
Hello.
Everybody. It's been a while. The big news is that I can no longer fit into my drinking jacket since the last episode. A lot has changed. We're here to talk about rum.
Are we?
We're here to talk about Isla de Tesoro rum. Cuban rum. Comes in this beautiful Hessian tote bag for you to carry your shopping home in after you've drunken the rum. And then inside that is this beautiful treasure chest.
Fancy.
Now the story, I'm sure you know a lot about Cuban rum,
Of course.
which is that there's a city in Cuba, there's Havana, and then down the south, or whatever, the other end of the island, west, east, there's a city called Santiago de Cuba. Second largest, Santiago de Cuba. Havana is like the big city. It's where all the the aristocrats and stuff live. Santiago de Cuba is like an industrial city. And there was a man who lived in that city by the name of Bacardi. Built a big rum empire out of that city. Biggest rum explorer in the world at the time.
He did.
The whole city, there's a Bacardi museum, there's a Bacardi mansion, there's the Bacardi bottling plant, all the Bacardi stuff. Bacardi's a big deal there. And then along came the Cuban Revolution, and they said, Mr. Bacardi, we're going to take that stuff. So they took it all away from him. He went overseas and made his own different rum called Bacardi. I mean, his other one was called Bacardi too. But anyway, the Cubans took over all these factories, and then now they make a rum there called Santiago de Cuba. There's two big rums out of Cuba. Havana Club is one of them. And then the Santiago. So Castro, he had this thing about, I want to show off the best of the best in Cuba. So he would sort of make these halo products. The most famous example is Cohiba cigars, which were his sort of private cigars. They were made just for him and for diplomats and for, members of the Politburo and stuff for many years. And now they're sort of thought of as the best of the best. And there's a lesser known equivalent of that in rum. What do you think the name of it's going to be? It's Isla de Tesoro. So the idea with Isla de Tesoro, it's the best of the best. It was only made...
It's exactly what I was going to say.
For the high-ups. And just in the last sort of few years, they've started selling it. They make allegedly 2,000 bottles a year of this...
That's not many.
...legendary rum. Yeah. It's more rare than it is expensive. It is expensive, but it's mostly just hard to find. And I really like it as a... you get these limited release. Like Havana Club now do it. They do one called the Optimo or something. It's in a big crystal fancy bottle. But it's in this dinky little treasure chest. It's in this silly Hessian bag. And when you actually get to the rum itself...
Well, it's super cute.
It's in this little porcelain pot.
Yeah.
For the viewers. To me, I think the reason that they keep this rum, which is supposedly the best of the best, in such quaint packaging, I think is because it was Castro's rum. That's my theory. I think that sort of... It's not really sold. I don't know who exports it.
I would say it's just a lot more difficult to make those little pots. That's why there's not many of them.
Like Havana Club is like Pernod Ricard or Diageo, one of them. Santiago's the same thing. Well, so Havana Club's okay, Pernod Ricard. Santiago's Diageo. They have a new one called Excelencia or something, which is going to be Moe Hennessy. Eminente. But this is not distributed to anyone. It's just a very small little batch of rum, a few bottles a year. But I think, never having tried it myself, it should be something pretty special.
So you're about to crack it for the first time?
We're about to crack it.
Ooh, how exciting.
Yes. Very annoyingly, it comes with a cork. So it means you have to drink the whole thing in one sitting.
My grandmother had an old bottle of brandy that was in a container like that, and it was never opened. No idea what happened to it. Would have liked to taste it.
Here's a problem. The cork has...
Oh.
It's covered in wax.
Maybe it's just the wax that's crumbling. You need a cork tweezer.
Yeah. Possibly it would be better if I didn't have this fancy screw pull. It might be better with just a regular waiter's friend, to be honest. No, that is completely shredding apart. Well,
it's not looking good.
What a disaster.
I heard you break the seal though.
Yeah, something broke. Well, this might be a case of 1 moment, please, viewers.
Indeed.
A few moments later.
Done.
Well,
that was fun.
Well, there you go. And quite miraculously, there doesn't appear to be anything floating down there, which... Anyway, there may be some...
Might be a bit chewy, but we'll see.
Anyway, let's try this exquisite rum.
Yeah, no floaties.
Real pain in the ass to pour.
What's the alcohol content?
Cuban rums like this are usually quite light, even aged rums. 40%. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Very smooth.
Yeah, it is. For some reason, I was expecting it to be like really sharp in my throat or something, but it's not. Smooth. It's very raisiny, golden raisiny flavor.
Yeah. It does have a bit of a bitterness to it, which is very typical of Cuban rum. They have like a back end kick, but the aftertaste is very nice. Very very raisiny is a good note. Very sort of treacly.
Yeah, I would definitely sip this.
Yeah, well, so you should. Anyway, the really interesting thing about Isla de Tesoro is that it comes with this little treasure map in the thing. Tell you what, give this a smell. This piece of paper smells extremely distinctive to me.
Yeah.
What's that smell? Do you know that smell?
It smells familiar, but I don't know what. It's wood. It smells like a not paper wood, but wood.
To me, it smells exactly like cocaine. I don't do cocaine, I just like the smell, but that's what it smells like. Anyway, this little treasure map has some cocktails on it. And I found this interesting because who would use their $500
extremely
best
rare
in the world sipping rum to make cocktails? Unless your name was Fidel Castro and you don't really give a fuck because you have all the 2,000 bottles of this a year, more than you can possibly drink.
Yeah, maybe. Do you think it's his personal cocktail list?
I think it might be.
Explains why it smells like cocaine.
I don't think so. Can't say that about Castro. Not only is there a cocktail list, which is interesting in and of itself, they're pretty interesting cocktails. I'll read out, I don't know. There's one, for example, the Buccaneer Punch, calls for 2 ounces of strawberry syrup, 4 ounces of Kirsch, 8 ounces of grapefruit juice, a whole bottle of the rum, 2 bottles of champagne or white wine. That's a
yeah,
punch
okay.
recipe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've picked out 3, which I've prepared for us. How about we try them first, and then you can determine. I'll tell you the recipe afterwards.
Okay.
Oh well, shall we do?
Mm.
This was supposed to be hot, but with all the messing around opening the cork, it may have gone cold.
Whoa. That is a lot of sweetness.
Sweetness.
Yeah. It tastes like honey, molten honey.
It does taste exactly just like honey.
Yeah, just like a big jar of it.
Well, you have correctly identified one of the ingredients. It is 1.5 parts honey, 2 parts rum, which you wouldn't think.
Yeah, I can't taste any rum in there whatsoever.
4 parts hot tea.
Yeah, I can kind of maybe taste the tea now that you mention it, but no, I cannot taste the rum in there at all. That is...
Yeah. Well, I
that's
did think...
that's a sick day drink. Like you can...
Yeah, basically it's a cold drink, but I did think as I was pouring in 1.5 shots of honey, this is a lot of honey.
It's a lot of honey.
I thought to myself. Anyway, why don't you try the next one?
Okay. This creamy one?
The creamy one. That is a Henry Morgan, famous pirate.
Is that nutmeg on top?
Nope. It's the other brown spice. It is cinnamon.
Yeah, it doesn't smell very cinnamony. That's nice though.
Yeah, I would say of the 3, this is the one I had the highest hopes for.
It kind of reminds me of like the creamy shaker shots that I would drink in a nightclub when I was young and liked sweet stuff.
That
but
is
it's
delicious.
Good. It's really good though.
Yeah, it's not a million miles away from like a Brandy Alexander.
Yeah. It's definitely a like wind down evening nightcap rather than a get the party started kind of drink.
Well, it is 1 part cream, 1 part cacao liqueur, 1 part rum. Sprinkled with cinnamon. Well, the final, why don't you try the double doubloon?
This is so harsh after drinking the creamy one.
I think it'd be pretty harsh even without that, but
yeah, it's very...
This should be the first one that's booze forward, I think.
It's very, like, sour and bitter. It needs something to balance it, I think.
Yeah.
It needs, like, a fruit or even just a garnish or something, maybe.
Well, so the ingredients are, it's the juice of half a lime, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 3 parts rum, drops of Kirsch liquor. So to me, I mean, that's basically... well, it's basically every drink, like a sour drink.
Yeah.
But usually you have lime equal to the syrup.
I mean, it doesn't taste as booze forward as it should, to be honest.
Possibly that's because it's been sitting around for half an hour and the ice has melted.
Yeah, there's also like 3 parts water now.
But yeah, basically I think that's a bad daiquiri.
Yeah. It's unbalanced. I'm not into it.
Anyway, the one I really wanted to make was a ransom, which is 1 part sugar, 1 part egg yolk, 2 parts rum, and 6 parts hot milk. But unfortunately, we didn't have any egg. So maybe some other time we can make the ransom.
Part 2.
Anyway, I hope that's helpful to you viewers. Of 3 of the 6 cocktails, 1 is pretty drinkable. So
now we have to fight over it.
If you're considering purchasing some Isla de Tesoro, try the Henry Morgan. Thank you. Know your liquor.